Hello there again, rockers, ravers, lovers, and sinners, and freedom fighters. This is yours truly, Rob Chevelle from Lit Soul. I'm here at Skull 7 Studios in North Hollywood, California, introducing you to the 6th official Lit Soul album, self-titled Lit Soul. The order of albums to date are Seven Worlds, Poetry with Music, Libertine Dream, Love at War, Your Crusade, and now the self-titled Lit Soul. It just felt right to call it that at this point in time. The album artwork, for those who can't see it, is a badass statue of the Angel of Death with red war paint and wings and a large blood moon behind her. This was kind of a brainchild of myself and Adele Bryan Lee, who really came up with the cover. It's kind of in line with all the album covers of the past, and I feel it represents the content within. I also want to give credit to Tony Hawley and Bill Edwards, who helped bring out some of the rich colors in the cover too. The band photo on the back is credited to Matthias Pfau. I want to dedicate the album to Sandy Harkins, as you can see on the back of the album if you have a copy. She's a big soul hard rocker lady who loves music and supporting original music, and everyone in the band appreciates everything she has done for us. Also a big shout out to the Allison Metal Babe Cohen of MBM Music LLC for her never dying support. Pretty much through the years, I've written most of the music and lyrics and melody to all Lit Soul songs. On the last album, Your Crusade, I started writing with Steve Sampson. The first song and only song in that album we wrote together was Behold My Name. This started a long song-writing partnership. The last song we wrote together is Wish Upon a Grape, which is the last song on the new album. We had countless nights writing in Steve's man cave, starting at 7:30 p.m. and not leaving until like 4:30 a.m. Just talking about everything from music to politics, drinking fine wine and craft beer, and Steve's favorite, whiskey or bourbon. Steve would normally come up with a riff on guitar and we would build it from there together, and I would add melody and lyrics. This was the process for most of this album. Then we would bring it to the band, and I've got to say that these songs would not be what they are without the creativity from the rest of the band and these incredible gifted musicians. I will list all of the tracks one by one. Track 1, Andromeda. I like intros to albums and usually a build-up. I had something in my head, and I went to the Jess Jimas, who is in the Lit Soul Brotherhood alumni, and it was full-time in the band for years. He produced this track in the studio, and I just love it. It represents the album, music, and as a starter, and matches the artwork as well. Track 2, You're Not Well. This song was written by Steve and I, and the players are Steve Sampson, myself, Carl Rather on bass, Ty Dennis on drums, and Jess Jimas on keyboards. Recorded and mixed by Bill Metoyer at Skull 7 Studios. The song is obviously about a witch who is actually in the rock community in Los Angeles. Track 3, Straight Into the Sun. This song was also written by Steve and I. Additional players are Carl on bass and Ty on drums. Recorded and mixed by Bill Metoyer at Skull 7 Studios. I came up with the lyrics and melody drinking wine and making gourmet dinners that I cooked at my girlfriend's house at the time, binge watching the series Vikings on Netflix with the fireplace on. It just flowed right out of me from that inspiration very easily. Fun times. Track 4 is Dark Crucifix. This song was written by Jess Jimas and myself. When Jess was full-time in the band, he played the riff at band rehearsal to jam to on years ago. At that time, it was a slower tempo, much slower, more like the Doors' The End vibe. I recorded it on my phone and then forgot about it. And then years later, I sent it to him one drinking night while recording this album, and he sent it back to me, much more of an improved, different version, a week or so later. Then we got together and completed the song. Major kudos to Jess, as this song was all recorded in his home studio, except for the drums. We really worked on the song great together, and he did an amazing job with the guitars and keyboards and working together on the arranging. Ty Dennis did the killer drums, and Costas laid down the perfect bass lines. One thing I'll never forget is when we did the guitar solos. It was Jess and Steve and I in the studio, and Jess and Steve punched in the solos, trading off back and forth. Just epic, and top players. This song, to me, exposes the lies we are told in the corporate media for purely political gains and against the interests of the people. Track 5 is When I Die. This song was written by Steve, Daniel Thomas Asita, and myself, recorded and mixed by Bill Matoyer in Skull 7 Studios. We wrote a lot of the music at Dano's house at the time, drinking and having a great time. We decided to come up with an acoustic mellow song. We just kept adding to it. For some reason, I could not come up with any words or melody that I liked for the bridge part of the song, so I decided I needed violin or flute. So I contacted my good friend and musician and poet, Juan Cardenas, and he did an incredible job playing flute over the section and throughout the song. Then Steve calls me one day and says my wife Jill thought we should get Jewel Steele from the family band Stereo Love to do some female vocals in the song. I immediately took the idea and I thought about Ann Wilson from Heart and Grace Slick from Jefferson Airplane. So I reached out to her and she jumped on board and it just came out so good. I'm very happy with it. Track 6 is Feast on the Fire, American Metal. This song was written by Steve and I. Right when I was about to start to write the lyrics, Talon Scott Christopher from Route 69 approached me and asked us to write a song for Mark Robinson, who recently passed away at the time. The song is dedicated to Mark and the lyrics are my ode to him. Mark was a great drummer and owner of the studio we rehearsed at called Pro Sound Studios, which is now called The Mark, that is owned by his daughter, Crystal. This song was fully recorded at Talon Studios in Santa Clarita. Drums in one room, guitar amps in another room, and cables run down the hallway. This song was mixed at Skull 7 Studios by Bill Matoyer. The players are myself, Steve, Ty on drums, and Costas on bass. Also, Dave Eggers on guitar too. Johnny Fortune did a solo harmony on the guitar over the bridge section. Love this song, it's very heavy. Track 7 is Something from Nothing. This song was written by Steve and I, is recorded and fully mixed by Talon Scott Christopher. The players are myself, Steve, Ty, Brian Roach on bass, and Dave Eggers Jr. on guitar. Track 8 is Wish Upon a Grape. This is the last song that Steve and I wrote together. I wanted a song that was fun and different and not so serious, and like an outro for the album. This song takes me back to Steve's man cave and all the late nights having a great time. Steve wrote the guitar parts and I wrote the melody and lyrics. It's a fun song that captures that time and us working together. The song was recorded and mixed by Steve in the man cave on his home equipment. After Steve drove off, I picked up his final mix on CD from his wife Jill and then took it to Skull 7 Studios to be the perfect last track on the album. Please check out litsoul.com for more updates and live shows. Check out our YouTube page at litsoul1. That's litsoul with the number 1 altogether. Litsoul is a melodic hard rock band from Southern California, USA, that advocates liberty in the modern age. Made in the USA. This is Rob Chevelle signing off. Until next time, let it rock, live free.
I told you, stop talking shit on him, man. I'm gonna kick your ass. Where's Bill?